Good day, guys. This is Rusty number 5 speaking. And today, I'm gonna be comparing the all-new 2022 Wooden Railway items to previous years of Wooden Railway items. I've already made a video about Wooden Railway 2022, which was a few months ago. If you'd like to check that out, the link is in the description below. So as you can see on the screen, I have bought more Wooden Railway 2022 items, and I'm going to unbox these and then compare these to previous Wooden Railway items. And I will be doing the same for the 2 items that I purchased a few months ago. I am going to have a lot of these pamphlets at some points. My least favorite thing about the new Wooden Railway is that it takes a very long time to get the items out of the box. Like, previously, with Wooden Railway, it would take like 10 seconds. Now it takes like a minute, or even 2 minutes if it's your first or second time. But anyways, here we have all of the Wooden Railway items that I have in their full glory. And I'm welcoming Rebecca to my Thomas Wooden Railway collection. Speaking of Thomas Wooden Railway collection, there will probably be another collection video, my first in like 4 years, soon. I'm not sure when, because they're very hard to make, probably the hardest videos to make. I mean, probably not the absolute hardest, but they're very hard to make. And honestly, it'll probably be out maybe around the Christmas holidays, but we'll see. Again, they take a while to make. Like, setting up everything, yeah, it's not too enjoyable. So I'm gonna analyze each item one by one, and then compare them to their predecessor items. Like I know that, like, some of these I have multiple versions of, but I'm just gonna use one, so that way this video isn't, like, 2 hours long. So yeah, this is basically a Thomas Wooden Railway discussion. So I'm gonna start with Rebecca. Now, this is the only Wooden Railway Rebecca so far, and I'll probably be giving Rebecca her own review at some point. So, I'm going to keep this probably quick. So, here is Rebecca. Very accurate to the series, and obviously, as I mentioned before, I have no other Wooden Railway Rebecca to compare her to, so I'm going to be reviewing her by herself. Again, like I just said, I'm probably going to be making a Rebecca review at some points, so I'm not going to spend too much time on Rebecca. So yeah, honestly, I don't have a lot to say. So here's the tender. I don't remember what Rebecca's tender looked like in the series, but yeah, I think Rebecca is very well designed, and very accurate to the series as well. So, apparently, on some Wooden Railway items, they're referring to tenders as cars. I don't know why. Wait, do any of these have cars in them? Okay, this is referred to as Henry's tender. Like, I think some of them, maybe Gordon, refer to the character's tender as a car. I don't know if that's like a factory error or something, but it's very weird. So yeah, Rebecca. A solid amount of detail. Honestly, it could use a bit more detail. Most of this is just yellow and red. But honestly, it's not that bad. I give Rebecca, I would give Rebecca about like an 8 out of 10. Next up we have Thomas. Here's the 2015 Thomas. Here is the 2022 Thomas. So, the 2022 Thomas has a painted boiler, and the 2015 does not. As a whole, the 2022 Wooden Railway items do seem to be a lot more detailed compared to previous. Like, and even then, in the mid-20, like, near the end of, what was originally the end of Wooden Railway's run, they definitely started adding more detail to the engines. Like, most notably, I think, would be Oliver. But even then, the 2000s Oliver had a pretty decent amount of detail on it. The 2015 Thomas generally has, it smiles. However, the 2022 Wooden Railway Thomas seems to have, I guess, a more animated smile, you could call it. Let's take a look at the sides here. They definitely stylized Thomas's door here, and they added ridges to here where number 1 is located. So I think they're kind of trying to go for what they started doing in season 23 with the Steam team. Like, they started giving the main characters, not the side characters for some reason, I don't know why, but like purely the Steam team, they decided to start giving them a lot more detail, probably to make fans happy and watch the show. But honestly, it didn't really. I feel like seriously, it's the same thing with how, I think with Thomas Wood, Mattel really took the complaints of there's not enough wood on the items, like the hearts, and made it so that they have these bits of wood. And seriously though, come to think of it, why did Mattel think that Thomas Wood was a good idea? Like, actually, I am actually really confused about why it was ever even conceived. They decided that it was a good idea to sell unpainted models. Like, oh my god. Honestly, I wonder if it's maybe, so that way, when they do get a little beaten up, it's not much of a problem. Because, hey, they had wood spots on it the whole time, so it doesn't matter. I don't know, but, that leak we got in 2017, which was pretty much completely unpainted, and turned out to be false. Yeah, honestly, that would have been a lot worse. But honestly, Thomas Wood as a whole, I mean, I'm glad they started painting them, but they still suck. For some reason, they decided to make the nameplates a lot smaller. Don't know why. It was pretty convenient that they had a pretty solid look here. Like, it's pretty much right in front of their face. This is Thomas. Like, there was a period in the 90s though where they didn't even, when Thomas Wooden Railway began in 1992, there wasn't even the nameplates. That was introduced around I think the late 90s to early 2000s. Just giving a little history lesson. I feel like I was trying to make a point there, but it ended up pretty much being just the complete, I don't know. The next item we have is Henry. Here we have the 2003-ish Henry, and here we have the 2022 Henry. So something that is probably the most notable on Henry is that they started adding fire here to the window to represent, the firebox. Honestly, these here, look a lot like they're supposed to be buttons. They're not. But, definitely give off that vibe. The tenders here are definitely, seriously though, wow. This tender here is a lot bigger than this one. This one only has 4 wheels, while this one has, 6. This one has 6 wheels. Wow. Don't know why they did, as a whole, I think that these have more. The 2022 Wooden Railway as a whole. Okay, so, let's see, let's just compare. Okay, so, yeah, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, like, they definitely gave a lot more wheels. Definitely makes it a bit more shaky for this. Like, definitely a lot more shaky. I don't know why they needed to give more wheels as a whole. I don't know why they need to do that. I mean, I guess, I mean, to make it a bit different. I get that. I mean, honestly, yeah, like, to make it a bit different, and I appreciate that. Next up is Rosie. So here we have the 2022 Rosie, and here we have the 2000, probably about 7-ish Rosie. So, I think there's a very, very, very noticeable difference here. That difference being that Rosie is now in a red livery, which was introduced in season 21. Well, really, it was introduced in Journey Beyond Sodor when she appeared for like a minute. But it was properly introduced in season 21. So, I think I heard something that they made Rosie red, so that way she doesn't seem kind of just like a girl stereotype or something. And yeah, I get that. I feel like I wouldn't call Rosie a girl stereotype. But yeah, I can see what they were going for there. Okay. Honestly, this one is probably the most, like, honestly, this one here probably is the most differences out of any of these. Again, I think it's pretty obvious. Like I just said, you know, this one's red, this one's pink. So yeah, Rosie now has NWR in the number 37, while here, Rosie just has this white here with nothing on it. Rosie is, without a doubt, the most unique difference out of any of these. And last but not least, we have Toby, which I am very excited to take a look at. 2022 Toby, 2001 Toby. So, apparently, well, I don't think it's the first time, but I don't know. Most Tobys have 4 wheels, and this Toby is 6. I think I'm going to compare the movement. Now, obviously, the 2001 Toby is going to feel lighter because you know 4 wheels and this Toby's 6. But truly, how lighter? Okay, the 2022 Toby makes less sound when you shake it. Yeah. Without a doubt, the 2022 Toby is heavier. They decided to give Toby a worried face, which is something they really started pushing in the Nitrogen era. And Toby here is like a smile/neutral face. They've removed the magnets here, and they've replaced it with painted on stuff. I think this Toby is supposed to represent the Railway series, which I think is pretty cool. I did complain about this when it originally came out, but honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with like kind of making it a bit more Railway series-y. But still, it's a little confusing because of how this Toby never looked like this in Thomas. I mean, kinda, but I guess not really. I think this would work better as like a special variant of Toby rather than the main Toby, honestly. So, as asked in the title of this video, how does the new 2022 wooden railway compare to wooden railway of the past? Well, I think there are a lot of differences. And I think that is pretty cool. That, it would be boring if every new wooden railway item looked just about the same whenever they updated a character's model. But yeah, I think that the 2022 wooden railway as a whole is really cool. And I would definitely recommend buying at least one. Just, check it out. I think as a whole, if I were to give a rating for the new 2022 wooden railway, I think perhaps like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Anyways, that's all for this video. And let me know what you think about the 2022 wooden railway in the comments below. Anyways, rust out.